John Lowe's here of Lowe's Archery Adventures. Serious testing, successful hunting. Today I'm going to be testing a new head by TruGlo. It's a TruGlo Quadcutter. And thanks to a buddy of mine, Chris Mulbier, I'm able to put this head to the test. Thank you, Chris, for donating heads. He's donated quite a few heads for me to test. I really appreciate it when people donate broadheads for me to test. I love testing them, and I love everybody else getting that information. So thank you, Chris. And this head has a lot of cool features. So in just a minute, we're going to check it out. But I'm going to be using my test process for 2024. And for a detailed description of that process, why I do the test, how I do the test, how I score it, and so forth, please check out the video I posted earlier this year called 2024 Broadhead Test Process. And for most of the shooting, I'm going to be using my new Elite Era. Okay, I am loving that bow. And for the flight testing, I'm going to be using this new Killer Instinct SWAT X1. I'm using Bishop Archery FOC King arrows for most of the shooting. They're fat eliminators for the really hard impact stuff because they're so doggone durable. And then I'm using their crossbow bolt, the GOAT, which is just a mammoth of a bolt. It's incredible for the shooting out of the crossbow. So let's zoom on in here, check out the Quadcutter, and then put it to the test. So here's a good look at the Quadcutter close up, and let me go through the materials. First of all, as for the ferrule, it's machined out of a single piece of grade 5 titanium. So really nice materials there to maximize durability, and you can see it's brought to a nice chisel tip, and the edges line up with each of the 4 blades to maximize penetration. Nice sleek profile to the ferrule. And then the blades are made out of stainless steel, and they're each 0.031 inches thick. A little thinner than some, but a little bit thicker than others. The total diameter of each of these sets of blades is 1 3/16 inches. So the total cut on this broadhead is 2.375 inches. That's a lot of cut in a fixed blade broadhead like this. And it keeps a relatively short overall profile of 1.3 inches. And I will say that each pack also comes with an extra set of blades. The blades are, of course, replaceable blades. So really a nice looking broadhead in a 100 grain model here. And as for resharpening, I'd use the Stay Sharp Guide Gray Guide with this. It works really well. Eager to put it to the test and see how it performs. The Quadcutter just barely clipped the edge of the 10 ring. It took 227 grams of force to cut through the wire, which is a 9.73 on a 10-point scale. It penetrated 7 inches. It took an extra 21 grams of force to cut through the wire, which is a 9.58 on a 10-point scale. It penetrated through 53 layers. It's in perfect condition after the 3 shots through the MDF. And it's in near perfect condition after the 2 shots through the steel plate. The only damage was that the tip got ever so slightly blunted there. And as for the holes, it's interesting that this is like the classic round hole and then 4 slits coming off of it, albeit it's a nice wide cut in those 4 slits, as opposed to like a tooth of the arrowhead that really makes like a square chunk of a hole. Here's here's a Quadcutter after all the durability tests, and man, it did a lot better than I thought. Did very well through the MDF and the steel plate, and even into the concrete. It did really well. It's stuck in the concrete, and it has a little bit of a wobble to it, as could be expected, but overall, the tip and the blades held up quite well. Really impressive durability. So what did you think about the Quadcutter? Man, I tell you what, it exceeded my expectations. I wasn't sure how durable it was going to be. I wasn't sure how well it was going to fly. I didn't know how well those blades were going to hold up and so forth. But man, it just way did better than I thought it was going to do in pretty much every area. Penetration, of course, that's going to be a bit wanting with such a large cut, but it really is a head worth checking out. So you check out the score sheet and see how it performed in the areas that matter to you the most, and see if it might be a good fit for you. And stay tuned for the overall cumulative score, as well as the corresponding Lust grade. And also stay tuned, because I have a new thing I'm putting at the end of every video where I list all the discount codes, and I'm getting more and more, so you can get more discounts on your broadheads and maybe some other archery gear.